Hello students, welcome to class 11 physics class. Today we discuss Newton's second law of motion. In first video we discussed the first law of motion, that is chapter name is laws of motion. That means we discussed the three laws of motion, Newton's three laws of motion. In first class we discussed the first law. So today's video we discuss the second law of motion. Already we know that the statement of the second law of motion, but once again we revise this one. Newton's second law, before we discuss the statement, first we clear two things are there. Behind the second law we get two things. If you apply more force to an object, it accelerates at higher rate. That means the in this figure you see that the mass inside the bucket, the same masses are there, same masses are kept over there. That means mass of the both bucket will be same. Now in first case, suppose if you apply 10 Newton force. So due to that, when you apply the force, we know that from the first law of motion, when the force is applied, the object on which it will be applied, that object will be change its state. Either it will be at rest or it will be in motion. So that means this mass, this bucket with this mass, it will also change its state and it will be accelerate. Okay, that means speed is increases. Now in second case, if you apply more force, that means first case you apply 10 Newton, second case you apply 50 Newton force. So in second case, this mass or this body will accelerate more compared to the first case. In first case also it will be accelerate, but in second case, as we increase the external force, its acceleration also increases. That means its speed also faster. Speed also increases or velocity also increases. We can say that it will displace from its position. So we can say that its velocity also increases. And we know that whenever the velocity increase or change in velocity with the time, that is called acceleration. So we can say that the object will be accelerated. In both cases, the object will accelerate, but it depends upon the amount of force. In first case, the amount of force is less compared to the second case, less than the second case. So in first case, suppose the acceleration will be 5 meter per second square, but in case of a second case, it will be suppose 10 meter per second square. It will be more because force is increases. So we can say that if we apply more force, the object will accelerate in higher rate because its velocity also, change in velocity also increases. Okay. Another one, in that case, case the mass will be same, force will be different. Okay, this is one, keep it in your mind. First case, the mass, that means inside the bucket with that one mass, that mass will be same for both cases. Which will be different? The applied force, external force will be different for both cases. Here, force will be same, but the mass will be different for both cases. As you see in this figure, in first case, whatever the mass over there inside the bucket, in second case, the mass also increases. So here we can say that if we apply a same force to an object with greater mass, the object accelerates at a slower rate because mass adds inertia. Inertia means it resists to change its state of rest or state of motion. So if there is a small mass is there, mass is small, not so large. So whatever the force, if we apply the force, it will displace. That means its velocity increases and it will accelerate. But if the mass will be increases, that means it's a very heavier object or the larger object. But if we apply the same amount of force in heavier object, it will be accelerate less compared to the first one. Its change in velocity or speed, it will be slower compared to the first one. if you consider a wooden block and a iron block, which one is a much heavier and which one need put more force to lift that block? Yes, obviously that will be iron block, because the mass of the iron block is heavier than the wooden block. Okay, or suppose the wooden block also be there. In one bucket only one wooden block is there, and another one bucket suppose 10 wooden block is there. So which mass is greater? Yes, obviously the second one, where the 10 wooden blocks are there. So if you apply the more same force in the first case, that means one on the one wooden block, and the second case, that means on the 10 wooden blocks. So you see that you easily lift or you easily shift that one wooden block compared to the second one. That means we can say that if the same force, same amount of force is applied to an object with greater mass, the object accelerates at a slower rate, because its inertia is increases, inertia mass adds inertia. So two things, what is the two things here? If the mass is constant, force is different. So if we increase the force, then the object will be accelerate more. Here, if the force is same but the mass will be different, one is a lighter object, another one is a heavier object, and if we apply the same amount of force on both of that object, we see that the heavier object accelerate at a slower rate. Its velocity changes it at a very slow, because it mass adds inertia. Clear? So we get two things. You keep it in your mind. If mass is constant, if we change, constant means the same object of same mass if you have, and if you apply the force, different forces, so the more, if you apply more force, it will accelerate more. But in second case, if the force is constant, that means same force you apply on a different object, lighter object, heavier object, so lighter object move first compared to the heavier object. Clear? Okay, so now let's just state the Newton's second law of motion statement. It states that the rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the external force applied on the body. So momentum, here one new term we get, that is momentum. In first law we define the force and the inertia. From second law also we also define the force, but another one term that will be linear momentum. Linear momentum is, that means mass into velocity. Mass into velocity. In that two cases you get the mass and velocity. Once mass is constant, velocity will change mode. Another one is the force will be constant. Same matter, the two things are different matter, but it's all about related to mass and velocity. Mass and velocity. In first case, mass constant, same object, same mass object, but we apply the different force, that's why velocity changes for both cases will be different. Second case, same force will be applied but the mass will be different. So here also velocity associated with this two kind of object, that will also be either increase or decrease. And with that is in a heavier object it will be decrease, and in case of a lighter object it will be increase. Okay. So the rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the external force applied on the body. In the first case, where we consider the two same mass, as in first case we use the first we apply 10 Newton force, in second case we apply the 50 Newton force. Now in third case, same mass, if we apply 100 Newton force, then it will accelerate more, its change in velocity will be more. Okay, so as we increase the external forces applied on a body, it will accelerate in a higher rate. That means its velocity will be changes if the mass of the body in three cases will be same. Okay, and the change takes place in the direction of applied force. In which direction you apply the external force, in that direction that object will be displaced, or it will be accelerating that direction. In if you take the example here, you apply the force left to right direction, so the object or this basket also move or accelerate left to right direction in towards the applied force direction. So this is the statement of second law of motion. The rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the external force applied on a body, and the change takes place in the direction of the applied force. So we can divide that two examples we take. Okay, depending upon the statement, this law can be divided into two parts. One is the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the applied force, and second part, that will be the change of momentum occurs in the direction of the applied force. In the same which direction you apply the force, in same that direction the momentum will be also changed. So let's discuss. The rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the applied force. The larger force acting on a body, greater is the change in its momentum. First example, when we apply a larger force on a body, it will accelerate more. That means the change of its momentum will be more. So change in momentum is equal to the product of mass and the change in velocity, because that change, whenever we apply the force on the body, two things will be related to this changes. One is the mass of the object, another one is velocity. So we can say that change in momentum is equal to the product of mass, because mass cannot be changed, mass will be fixed. So which one will be changed? That is velocity. Otherwise this equation will be not satisfied. We can say that this is not a equation. Equation means the left hand side also equal to the right hand side. So change in momentum, that is equals to mass into velocity. So which one will be changed? Left side one change, that is momentum also change, that is equal to the change in velocity, because mass is constant, mass does not change. Okay. So change in momentum is equal to the product of mass and the change in velocity, and the mass of the body remains constant. So we can say that rate of change of momentum, if mass is constant, so if we remove this one, so we can say that the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the rate of change of velocity, and rate of change of velocity, that means it will be what? Acceleration. When the velocity changes with time, it will be acceleration. I hope it is clear to everyone. Change in momentum, that is equals to mass into change in velocity, because mass cannot be changed. If mass is constant, so if we remove any constant term over there, so in place of equal sign we use the proportionality sign. So we can say that change in rate of change of momentum directly proportional to the rate of change of velocity, and rate of change of velocity is nothing but that it will be acceleration. So we can say that mathematically force F is proportional to mass into acceleration. Mass into acceleration. So and you know how to prove this one. In this side we also write that whenever its velocity is u at initially, its mass will be m. So initial momentum, that will be mu, and after some time its velocity will be v. So final momentum mv. So what will be the change in momentum? mv minus mu, final minus initial. Rate of change of momentum, that means divided by t, mv minus mu divided by t. Now as per the statement, this rate of change of momentum will be proportional to the external force applied on it. So F proportional to m, v minus u by t. From first equation of motion, v equals to u plus at. So v minus u by t, that is nothing but the acceleration. You see that v minus u by t, that is change in velocity, and change in velocity with time, that is called acceleration. That things we can write here, m into a proportional to m into a. Okay. Second thing, the change of momentum occurs in the direction of the force. In which direction you apply the force, in same direction this change of momentum will occur. So if a body is at rest, a force will set it in motion. Okay, suppose you kept one ball on the ground at rest. If you kick over on that football, it will be in motion. And which direction you kick, that means you apply the force on the football in same direction, that football will be moved. That means it is in a motion in the same direction of the applied force with some certain velocity. Whenever the object is at motion, whenever the football is in motion, that means it has certain velocity. As we increase the force, apply force, if we increase, so its velocity increases. In some cases it will be decreases also. So the force will increase or decrease this velocity according to the force acts in its same or in a opposite direction. Now if the football is in motion and if you apply a force in opposite direction of its motion, that means the football changes its motion and comes to rest. So in this time the force will apply in a opposite direction, and it's in this case we can say that the velocity of the football will be decreased by applying a force to change its motion to state of motion to state of rest. Okay, so these two things we discuss, which is a part of the statement, Newton's second law of statement. Let's discuss that we already say that the from first law we also defined force. Now Newton's second law also defined force. How it will define the force? If a body of mass m is moving with some velocity v, then its linear momentum is the product of mass into velocity, and it is a vector quantity. So in vector form, p vector, that will be the linear momentum is denoted by p. So p equals to m into v. M is a mass, so v is a vector and p is a vector quantity. Now if we differentiate both sides with respect to time t, so what we can write, dp by dt, that will be ddt of mv. M is a constant, mass is constant, so we have dv by dt, rate of change of velocity, that is mass, and that is acceleration, and acceleration also be a vector quantity. So we can write dp vector by dt, that is equals to m into a vector. Now from the Newton's second law of motion, we get the external force is proportional to this rate of change of momentum. So we can write force is also a vector quantity, so F vector is proportional to dp by dt. In place of dp dt, we put m into a. Now if we remove the proportionality sign, we have to multiply it with a constant term, that will be here k. So F equals to k into m into a. Now to get the value of this proportionality constant k equals to 1, we consider mass of the body, that will be unit mass, unit acceleration, and the force also be a unit Newton. 1 Newton forces it will be apply on the object. So suppose m equals to 1, a equals to 1 and f equals to 1, then k equals to also 1. That means f equals to 1 Newton, m equals to 1 kg and a equals to 1 meter per second square. Then if we put this value over there, we get k equals to 1. So we can write f equals to m into a. This will be the in a vector form, and this equation can be used to measure the force. From this equation, F equals to m into a, from this equation we also determine the applied force on the object and the dimension of the force. From here we also get the dimension of, so we know the dimension, but from this expression m into a, m dimension is capital M and a dimension is L t to the power minus 2. So m into a, that means we get the dimension of force, that will be ml to the power minus 2, and this is of dimension we know that we already studied in a unit and dimension chapter. The dimension of force, that is equals to m into l to the power minus 2. So like this way, from this equation, F equals to m into a, and this is a very important equation in physics. Later we also discussed that Newton's second law is a real law, because from this second law we can derive first law as well as the second law, a third law also. So the original and the real law, that is Newton's second law. We discuss it in the next videos. Okay, so just you know that Newton's second law is a main law or the real law, because from this second law we define or we derive the first law as well as the third law. So from this, using this equation, if you have the value of a, or a means rate of change of velocity, if you have these values and if you have the value of mass, then you can easily find out the force acting on that object or the body. I hope it is clear. So according to Newton, an object will only accelerate. So F equals to m into a, that will be the vector form. If we write the magnitude form, then we remove just vector sign. So normally we can write F equals to m into a without any vector sign. That will be the scalar form or the magnitude form of this expression. So from this expression we can write a equals to F by m. So here this will be explained as, according to Newton, an object will only accelerate if there is a net or unbalanced force acting upon it. Yes, it is very important, unbalanced force. If the force is balanced both sides, then the object or the body cannot move or cannot displace from its position. So if one side force will be higher and another one side if it will be lower, then the net force will be unbalanced force, and due to that unbalanced force the object will displace and its velocity increases or decreases, that means it will accelerate. So only accelerate, the main reason, the whatever the force acting on it, that will be the unbalanced force, net or unbalanced force acting on it. Clear? Okay, here this three diagrams it is given. The first the first two slide we discussed that two things. One is a mass is same, force is increases. Another one, mass will be increases but the force is applied same. So this three will be considered here. Which three? This three equation represent this equation. That first case, mass one block is there, so we apply a force, it will accelerate. Okay, now we will apply more force, it will accelerate more, that means its velocity increases. Now if we increase its mass and if we apply the same force, the first one, we see that it will accelerate less, that means its velocity will be decreases. That means the main thing is there, the force, and this, for that type of force, it will be a unbalanced force acting on a body, and only that condition the object will be accelerate. Okay, the presence of an unbalanced force will accelerate an object, changing its speed, its direction, or both its speed and direction. That's these three. First one, changes speeds, that means it will be acceleration. Second figure, changes direction, its direction also change, and second and third figure, both its speed and direction. Okay, direction means here direction is not there, only the speed, either speed is increases, sometimes speed will be decreases in third time. So if we apply a unbalanced force, the object will accelerate. Okay, how? Due to changes speed, due to its direction also change, or both its speed and direction also be changed. I hope it is clear. If you have any problem, please write in a comment box that this portion or this slide you did not understand, so I will repeat it again. Yeah. Okay. Next, so from F equals to m into a, that will be the equation from where we get the idea about the force. Unit of force is Newton. SI unit of mass for kg, SI unit of acceleration is meter per second square. We know this one. So unit of force is Newton. 1 Newton equals to 1 kg into meter per second square. And how we can define? 1 Newton is the force required to produce an acceleration of 1 meter per second on a body, 1 meter per second square on a body of mass 1 kg. Okay. So the main equation is F equals to ma. So from that F equals to ma, we get the three forms of the second law. So if you have the force is value is given and the mass is given, you find out the acceleration by this equation, A equals to F by m. From second equation, you find out the force if you have the value of mass and acceleration. And if you want to find out the mass of an object, so if you know the value of acceleration and the net unbalanced force. Yeah. Okay, now this Newton's second law, F equals to m into a. Now because we already discussed the vectors, we have the concept about the vector and the resolution of the vector, rectangular components of the vector. So now this Newton's second law in component form. That means that F equals to ma, we represent that equation in a rectangular component form along xy and along x, y and z axis. So we know that if one object having mass m, because mass is constant, it will be not break along the x, y and z axis, it will be constant. A force will be applied on it, that is F. So in x, y and z direction, this force will be write as Fx I hat plus Fy j hat plus Fz k hat. So its momentum also be different for x and y and z axis. So the total momentum, that will be Px I hat plus Py j hat plus Pz k hat. And a vector, that is equals to Ax I hat plus Ay j hat plus Az k hat, the acceleration. So the vector form of Newton's law, we know that F vector, that is equals to m into a vector, or that is equals to dp vector by dt. So we can write this equation in two ways. One, F equals to m into a, another one F equals to dp by dt. So first, if we consider F equals to m into a, and if we put the expression of F and a in terms of rectangular components, we get Fx I hat plus Fy j hat plus Fz k hat, that is equals to m into Ax I hat plus Ay j hat plus Az k hat. And if we use the equation F equals to dp by dt, so Fx I hat plus Fy j hat plus Fz k hat, that is equals to ddt of, in place of p we can write Px I hat plus Py j hat plus Pz k hat. Now if we equating the same terms, same components, so first expression we get Fx equals to m into x, I hat cancel both sides. Similarly, Fy equals to m into ay, Fz equals to m into az. And from the second equation we get Fx equals to dpx by dt, Fy equals to dpy by dt, and Fz equals to dpz by dt. So if we come from this to three expression, 3 that means 6 expression, we can write Fx equals to m into x and Fx equals to also dpx by dt. So we can write Fx equals to m into ax, that is equals to dpx by dt. Similarly, the y term and the z term also. So this will be the rectangular component of the force from Newton's, or we can write the Newton's second law in component form, rectangular component form. Now the concept of linear momentum, that means we say that it is a product of mass into velocity. Just now we discussed the linear momentum with some example. Suppose when a small piece of stone is dropped from a small height, very negligible height, okay, on a mirror placed on the table or any surface, so we see that that mirror does not break. But when a heavy stone is dropped, negligible height means not very near to the little bit distance, okay. So, but if we, instead of that small piece of stone, if we use a heavy stone, and that stone also be dropped from the same height, we see that the glass plane, that the mirror will be break. So that means here we can see that the heavy stone and the small piece of a stone, that means mass is different, mass of the stone will be different, but the height is same. And because height is same, so the each and every one, every stone also apply the same force on the mirror. But because of the mass, heavier mass of the heavy stone, the mirror will be break. So we can say that here the small and the heavy stones have the same velocity when they fall on the mirror from the same height. Now take another one example. On the if we take suppose a bullet, so we put a greater effort to require to stop a bullet fired from the gun, and then to stop a bullet from the same mass when it just thrown by the hand. Once same bullet, that means mass will be same. Okay, so if we throw by gun and if it is thrown by our hand, so which case it will put a more effort to stop this bullet? Yes, it will be from for gun. Because what is the reason behind it? Because its velocity, when it will thrown through the fired from the ground, its velocity is more than the when it is thrown by the hand, its velocity is less. Second case velocity will be less, but we use the same bullet, mass will be same, but if the velocity will be different, then we put also the greater effort, and we put a more force to stop that bullet which is fired from the gun. So these two are the two different things. Once the force will be same, velocity will be same. First case, the two stone, the mass will be different, as we already discussed that with the example. And second case, the mass is same but the velocity is different. So from these two examples, we can conclude that the effect of motion of a body depends on both, not only for one quantity, that not only the mass, not only the velocity. Okay, so the effect of motion of a body, the body will be in motion, so two things it will be depends on it, two things behind this motion, that is one mass of the body, another one is a velocity of the body. And the product of this mass and velocity of a body is called linear momentum, is called linear momentum. So momentum of a body is the quantity of motion possessed by the body. It is equal to the product of mass and velocity of the body. So P, it will be denoted by P equals to m into V. Its SI unit kg meter per second, CGS unit gram centimeter per second, and dimension ml to the power minus 1. ml to the power minus 1. I hope it is clear to everyone. And still, if you have any problem, please write in a comment box. Okay. Now here we discuss some variation of momentum. That means we draw some graph, because we get the two situation. One situation, mass is constant, mass is same, but the velocity is different. Another one situation, velocity is same, but the mass is different. So depending upon this variation, depending upon this constant, one's mass is constant, one velocity is constant, we can draw the different types of graph, consideration of these constants. This is called variation of momentum, how the momentum will be varied if another any one quantity will be constant. First case, we considered the two objects having same mass, that will be m, but they are moving with the different velocities v1 and v2. The second one example, The bullet fired from a gun and the by hand. Mass will be same, but the velocity will be different, v1 and v2. So, and we say that the velocity v1 is greater than the v2. So p1 we can write p equals to m into v. So for first case, p1 equals to m into v1, m is constant. p2 equals to m into v2. Now if we divide this to equation, we get p1 by p2, that is equals to m into v1 by m into v2. So we m cancel. So we have v1 by v2. So now v1, as v1 greater than v2, p1 also greater than p2. That means if v also changes, momentum of the body also changes. How it changes? Directly. If velocity increases, momentum also increases. Because here if the v1 is the velocity of first object, if it will be increases, the momentum of the first object also be increases compared to the second one. So it is directly proportional. So if we plot this graph p versus v, if m constant, it will be a straight line graph. Okay. Second case, two objects of mass m1 and m2. The first case, the heavier stone and a lighter stone. m1 and m2, m1 is greater than m2 and having the same velocity, they will move at same velocity, same, that is v. So p1 equals to m1 into v and p2 equals to m2 into v. Now if we divide two equation p1 by p2, we get m1 by m2. So here also if we consider mass of m1 is greater than m2, we also write p1 greater than p2. As we increase the mass of the first one, or if we increase the masses, the momentum change of that body also increases if the velocity is constant. So this is also be a straight line graph, p versus m graph, where v is constant. Case 3, here we consider the momentum is constant, having equal linear momentum but different mass and velocity. So p1 equals to p2. Two different objects. One is a lighter object, its velocity is different. Another one is a heavier object, its velocity also be different. So p1 and p2, how the velocity will be different? If you take the stone and whatever the height you fall it on the plane mirror, in case of a heavier stone, if you change the height, so its velocity also changes. Okay, like this way we can change. So for both cases, the mass linear momentum for first one is p1, linear momentum for second one will be p2, but the value, the final value it will come, that will be equal. So if p1 equals to p2, so we can write m1 v1, that is equals to m2 into v2. So m1 by m2, that is equals to v2 by v1. So what we can say that m1 greater than m2, v2 greater than v1. That means if we increase the mass of the first one, its velocity will decreases. So for heavier mass, its velocity decreases. Okay, and for lighter mass, its velocity increases. So we can say that those having the lighter mass, they will move faster than the heavier one, and its graph v versus m graph we can write as a decreasing order. P is constant. So when two objects have equal momentum, the lighter object moves faster than the heavier one. Okay, here I will give some numericals depending upon that formula f equals to m into a. Try to in your home. 4 numericals are there. First one, determine the acceleration. Second one, determine the mass. And third one, the new acceleration of the sled. Okay, that the force will be changes first time and second time. And third one also, the new acceleration of the sled. Okay, try to in your home. And here I will give the answers also, the hints also, not the answer. Try to in your home. First you solve the 4, then you check your answer with this answer sheet. Okay. Thank you everyone. And I hope it is clear to everyone that the momentum, the second Newton, mainly the second law, two things are combined, two things are behind the motion of an object, that is related with the mass, another one related with the velocity. Whenever the object is in motion, two main reasons behind it. One is mass, another one is a velocity. I hope it is clear to everyone. Still, if you have any kind of problem, please write in a comment box. Have a nice day. Stay safe. Stay in your home. Bye bye.